In this video I'm going to be mounting bumperettes to the front bumper of my Squarebody truck. What's up everybody, welcome back to Wrench at Home. A while ago I managed to snag a brand new set of bumperettes, or bumper guards if you will, for my truck on eBay. These are pretty rare and are labeled as what you call new old stock, which means they are old but have never been sold before and are still untouched in their original packaging. It really amazes me that these new parts have been sitting on a shelf somewhere for over 40 years before they were finally installed on a truck as they were intended to. The installation instructions are pretty basic, but then again it's a fairly easy install. These bumperettes come with everything you'll need for installation, like hardware and the rubber gaskets which fit over the edges of the bumper guards to protect your chrome bumper. The hardware kit comes with nuts, spring washers and flat washers to bolt the guards to your front bumper. The rubber gaskets have an opening on the top side in which you'll press the bumper guard, and a flat back side which will sit against your front bumper. I started with installing the rubber gasket strips onto the bumper guards, while working from top to bottom and aligning one end of the gasket with the starting point of the bumper recess in the guard. These gaskets are pretty flexible, but they didn't really want to stay in place and kept bending back up instead. My girlfriend came up with the idea of wrapping some rubber bands around the guards to keep some pressure on the gaskets and force them into the correct shape. This worked flawlessly. I'll just cut these rubber bands in half when I have the bumper guards loosely in place. Alright, time to remove the front bumper. Mine is attached with 4 bolts, 2 on both sides of the license plate. The threaded rod inside the bumper guard will fit through the top hole of the bumper. For my truck model year there is no bottom bolt or clamp needed to keep the guard in place, according to the instructions. Reaching the bolts that keep the front bumper in place can be a bit tricky. I just focused on the bottom 2 bolts per side because the top one is very hard to get a wrench on due to the raised edge surrounding it. The extra L-shaped brackets can be removed so much easier when the bumper is lying on the ground. Removing and reinstalling the front bumper from the truck took the most time, but it does make fitting the bumper guards a lot easier.
Klinkt lekker.
Lekker fris.
The bottom bolts on my truck have been replaced once with regular hexagon-shaped bolts. But as the guards only need to be mounted using both top holes anyway, I'm going to move the better looking and original top bolts to the bottom and throw the incorrect ones out. The bolt holes in the bumper are square, so they can keep the original bolts with the round heads in place when you tighten them from behind the bumper. With the 4 bolts removed, I enlisted the help of my girlfriend to lift the front bumper off of the truck and place it face down onto some old but soft curtains to prevent the chrome from scratching. After soaking the remaining nuts and bolts in some WD-40 Specialist penetrant spray, I removed the L-shaped brackets from the bumper. Here you can get a better view of the square section at the base of the OEM bolts that keep the front bumper in place. Now the front bumper is ready to receive the new bumperettes. Hey there, sorry for interrupting, but are you enjoying yourself? Consider subscribing to my channel. It's totally free. Thank you. After laying the bumper on its back, I moved the first bumper guard into position while maneuvering the threaded rod through the top bolt hole in the bumper. While my girlfriend tilts the bumper slightly forward and prevents it from falling over completely, I try to fiddle the washers and nut onto the threaded rod of the bumper guard. Because the rod is very loose inside the guard and isn't sticking very far through the bumper hole, it was hard to fit all the hardware on. After some finagling, I decided to throw out the spring washer. With the guard loosely mounted, I cut the rubber bands that are still holding the gaskets perfectly in place and just pulled them out one side. With the rubber bands removed, I tightened the bolt until I felt it was tight enough and moved on to the other side. I'm going to keep a close eye on these bolts. If they start vibrating loose because of the missing spring washers, I might give installing the spring washers a second go, or I'll just put some Loctite on the threads. Now with both sides mounted, it's almost time to reinstall the front bumper back onto the truck. Here you can get a better view at how these guards are mounted to the bumper.
Tillen we eroverheen, want het was anders.
After fitting the bumper back on, aligning it in the correct position and tightening up the 4 bumper bolts, I cut off the excess rubber gaskets at the bottom of the bumper guards with a hobby knife. These gaskets do a great job of hiding any potential gaps between the bumperettes and the front bumper. I nod in approval, and after lowering the truck back down, she's all done. Personally, I really like these bumperettes, but it's all a matter of taste. If you're stuck with bumper guards on your truck and you don't like the look, just play this video in reverse. That's it for this episode, guys. Thanks for watching. If you liked today's video, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel to see future updates on my truck and other projects. Take care everybody, bye!